Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to take the overwhelming hype around artificial intelligence and translate it into the familiar IT architecture you already know and manage every single day. If you're a sysadmin, a DevOps engineer, or an IT manager trying to decode all those AI buzzwords flying around your organization right now, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to be using a fantastic tutorial called 30 Common Terms Used in Machine Learning, created by Virtualization Options LLC, which is a research, education, and advisory group out of Colorado. This is a 10-part framework, and today is a big one. We're diving straight into Part 10, the finale, which is completely tailored for IT pros. We're focusing strictly on the core operational concepts you need to bridge the gap between complex AI theories and the practical systems you already run.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today's session. 1. The AI foundation. 2. How machines learn. 3. The data engine. 4. Deep learning. 5. Generative AI. And finally, 6. AI ops and model drift.
Section 1. The AI Foundation, defining the core stack of artificial intelligence. Before models and neural networks make any sense operationally, we really have to define what we're actually building. To set the stage, just think of artificial intelligence as your overarching operating system layer. It's the broad parent environment where absolutely everything else runs. And here is the fundamental shift. Traditional software is basically a strict rule book, right? You literally have to write every single if and then condition. But machine learning? It's more like a junior employee discovering logic from data. It reads thousands of past support tickets to figure out the patterns, all by itself, without you writing a single explicit rule. Section 2. How machines actually learn. The 3 core paradigms of training models. So, the crucial point here is that there are 3 main ways this happens. You've got supervised learning, which uses labeled data, unsupervised learning for things like finding hidden network anomalies in a sea of raw logs, and reinforcement learning, which is basically learning via digital trial and error to maximize a reward. Look at it this way. If you know how to onboard a junior Tier 1 analyst by having them read through a tagged ticket queue, you already intuitively understand supervised learning. You give them the answers during training, and the model learns to map the input to those provided labels. It really is that simple. Section 3. Understanding the data engine, the algorithms and features driving AI logic. Once we know how we want to train, we need to pick the specific algorithm doing the heavy lifting. Because there is no free lunch in machine learning, you have to carefully select the right algorithm for your specific data type. It's kind of like picking the right database schema. You wouldn't use a graph database for a simple transactional ledger, right? Same here. You wouldn't use a decision tree when a linear regression is perfectly suited to predict continuous server load. And what exactly are these algorithms chewing on? They process what we call features. Now, when data scientists throw the word features around, honestly, don't get intimidated. Just picture the columns in your database. If you want to predict server downtime, your features are literally just CPU usage, disk I/O, or uptime days. But here's the big question. How do machines learn to see, hear, and understand language? How do we scale this up to handle incredibly complex, unstructured tasks like real-time image recognition or speech-to-text? Section 4. Deep Learning and Neural Nets, the architecture behind modern AI breakthroughs. This brings us to the heavy compute layer of our stack. If you've ever architected or managed a multi-tier application, you're already going to understand the flow of data through a neural network. Data hits the input layer, kind of like your web server. Then it gets crunched in the hidden layers. Think of those as your application servers doing the deep processing. And finally, it exits the output layer, just like a database, returning your final queried result. Section 5. Generative AI Explained. Shifting from analyzing data to creating it. This is the application layer that is absolutely dominating enterprise conversations right now. The paradigm shift here is massive. Traditional ML is discriminative, meaning it analyzes and classifies your logs or tells you if an email is spam. But generative AI, it turns that entirely on its head. It creates net new outputs from scratch based on the patterns it's learned. And to make these massive generative models actually efficient for your business, we use something called transfer learning. It's literally like hiring a brilliant senior engineer who already knows networking and scripting inside out. You just have to onboard them to your specific local environment. You save millions on training from scratch. Which brings us to today's main event for IT pros. Section 6, AI Operations and Model Drift, Keeping Machine Learning Healthy in Production. We are now firmly in Chapter 10 territory. Getting an AI model into production is only half the battle.
Keeping it running reliably is a totally different discipline.
First, to evaluate a model before deployment, we use the technique called K-fold cross-validation. And honestly, this is exactly like running a comprehensive disaster recovery drill across multiple data centers. You split your data, train on one slice, test on another, and rotate. You're making sure it's completely stable everywhere, not just in one lucky, isolated test environment.
Once you go live, you have to constantly monitor for something called model drift. Think about relying on a spam filter that was trained perfectly back in 2020. If you run that exact same filter today, it's going to fail, right? Because threat actors change their tactics. The real-world production data literally drifted away from the original training data. These models degrade over time, and your ops team absolutely has to catch that.
And keeping these models healthy isn't just about uptime or accuracy anymore. Emerging global regulations, like the EU AI Act, mandate that operations teams continuously monitor and test for bias in high-risk models. So, responsible AI compliance and transparency are now core operational metrics, right alongside your latency and throughput.
So, as we wrap up this explainer on virtualization options, machine learning terms, I want to leave you with this question. As your entire stack transitions from predictable code that you manually write to evolving data engines that discover their own logic, how will your IT playbook adapt? The tools are definitely changing, but the need for rigorous, structured management, that is higher than ever. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the AI stack. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.